Welcome to the Bludd Heart Podcast, episode 10. What we do here is talk about all things Diablo. You can find us on all major podcast platforms. I usually post episodes Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. Pacific. This week we're going to talk about this Diablo blog post where it talks about the future of Diablo 3, some juicy bits in there that we didn't get to last week. And we're going to tackle some popular community questions. The season is starting on Friday, so I hope you guys are ready for that. So this blog post is pretty extensive. I'll probably cover like one paragraph and then talk about the most important parts of it. It says, beginning with season 14, we introduced theme seasons. The goal was simple: change the expected gameplay loop and create unique experiences from season to season. So if you guys remember, we started with like the double goblins, and then we moved on to double bounties. So that was kind of cool. Like, we were getting double materials and it made it a little bit exciting. And then we started getting build altering themes from the Ring of Royal Grandeur to then the lawn season, now the Triune buff. So it's been getting progressively better or like more build defining, and we're thinking about the different powers that we get. They continue to say, we want to continue to explore new and exciting ways to change how you play D3. So that sounds amazing. That means we're going to get more seasonal themes with more interesting types of abilities, and who knows how far they're going to go with it. That's a good thing. That's a good start already. So the title of this paragraph was Ongoing Content and Seasons. Let's go ahead and scroll down here a little bit. Based on your positive feedback and increased participation in theme seasons. So they did mention that season 12 was the biggest season like they ever had. And then something like that. And then season Ring of Royal Grandeur season was just as big as season 12. So I think that maybe they're like, okay, like this is like huge, like, like people like this kind of stuff. We're moving in the right direction. Continue to let us know how we can make your adventures better. Our crew is hard at work crafting additional themed seasons. Okay, so like we talked about a second ago, I'm just thinking of all the different themed seasons. Of course, we default to, okay, maybe we're just going to get an Endless Walk season or a COE season. But since they added the Triune season, it does open the door for more interesting things. Like, who knows what else they can create, I guess. Different types of mechanics and so forth. So I'm interested to see. It makes me definitely hopeful. If we got like a COE season, I would just be like, okay, we're going to get this every season. Like, I think a lot of people think that, For a while there, we were saying, oh, double goblins, double bounties, now double blood shards, double XP, things in that nature. But it's looking bright, man. The seasonal theme's looking bright. In my opinion, the seasonal theme doesn't have to carry the season exactly. It just has to be decent, and the patch could carry, or the patch could be weak, and then the seasonal theme could be super good. So having these two options that can go off and make our season special is great. It's almost like we have twice. We're not just relying on the patch anymore. We also have the seasonal theme popping off and making our season special. The next line was a new set for each class. And that just set me, I was going crazy. I immediately went on the stream. I didn't make a video on YouTube last week. I immediately turned on the stream and I was like, bro, we got to talk about this. So that's super exciting news. And if you didn't hear, it's an official blog post on their website. So we got additional theme seasons and a new set for each class. That means we're getting 7 sets. That means we're getting new transmogs for every set. That means we're getting 2 pieces to potentially mix in with other sets and make even more combos. And knowing what we know now, like these 2 and 4 pieces could be really good. Like knowing what we know now, like whoever's designing these sets can go in with balance in mind versus just making some cool stuff. So we had a long discussion on stream about it. I can kind of go through like some of the most popular suggestions, and by far, with Barbarian, people wanted a freaking dual wielding Titan grip barb, like a frenzy barb that can dual wield 2-handers, right? That just sounds so badass and speaks to the theme of the barb. And it's like a giant frenzy barb, and make a whole set based around it. Maybe you have like a castable ability like Volcano or something, where like after 10 frenzies, your Volcano is boosted by X damage, and then you cast Volcano. It's like a volcanic frenzy barb or something like that. Or just a full generator frenzy barb. Either way, I think that'd be super dope. And we talked about all the different things that it could do and stuff like that. Let's just go by main stat by main stat. For Crusader, Some of the most popular suggestions were the Phalanx. So Satyr doesn't really have a pet build. And this you count pony. A lot of builds use the pony actually. But yeah, Satyr doesn't have a pet build. So Phalanx would be a good option. There's some interesting runes with like the bowman, and there's like a bodyguard type rune. So there might be some cool stuff you could do with it. And then of course the sets itself would like augment how you play. I personally wanted like a Heaven's Fury build. Heaven's Fury is kind of like Elemental Shaman in WoW. You cast something, you have a chance to get a double cast. So I would like a Heaven's Fury as well. I always think that's a beast build, and it kind of speaks to like a holy wrath, like a Inquisition, I guess, type satyr, like a thematic version of like a holy warrior. You know what I'm saying? So I would go for a Heaven's Fury or both, man. Why stop at one? Give us two. Maybe they can do legendaries for one and then a set for the other. For the other classes, for Demon Hunter, a lot of people wanted a Elemental Arrow DH. So that'd be pretty fun, I think, having an Elemental Arrow DH in the mix. It was one of the most popular builds back in the day, so bringing it back might be the way to go. My personal favorite was a Chakram DH, since Chakram's one of my favorite skills in Diablo. And I feel like the weapon, all that stuff's underutilized. So like a Ninja Chakram DH with maybe Phantom Knives as like a thing. As you can tell, I like stuff that you have to think about. So you cast like 10 Chakrams and then it buffs Phantom Knives. Or there's some kind of interesting augment there for, you know, a gameplay. I don't know, like after X amount of this, then you move unhindered through enemies, or you take no damage after 20 Chakram casts for 5 seconds or something. I don't know. I like these kind of things that you have to think about while you're DPSing. I do like the spammy builds, right? I like multi-shot. But if there was like one other thing to think about when you're spamming, I think it'd make it a little bit more engaging. So Elemental Arrow and Chakram are my top two choices, and the community's choices, actually. For monks, we were talking about a dual-wielding Tempest Rush monk. So both your hands are spinning like a Doctor Strange. I don't know if you've seen the Marvel Universe, but yeah, like Doctor Strange, where you have your hands out and there's like two spinning helicopter discs kind of thing, and you're just running around buzzsawing everybody. Kind of like a Whirlwind Barb, like a dual-wielding Whirlwind Barb or something like that. Whirlwind Barb does dual wield, but you know what I mean? Like your hands are spinning, going crazy. Or an LTK set. LTK is like my favorite monk skill. Having some kind of LTK set that actually kicks ass. Like maybe the fireballs explode into, you know, like the LTK helmet. Maybe the fireballs explode. Every 10 fireballs, there's like a huge AoE on the screen, like a giant monk EP or something. That'd be kind of dope. I like LTK, and I would love to see it back, at least competitive. It doesn't have to be like the best build. I just like things that are more competitive, so you don't feel so bad playing it. For the Necromancer class, we were talking about an actual revive set. Man, they spent so much time in development for the freaking revive skill, and to see it not really utilized is kind of crazy, right? So hopefully we get a set with revive. Or you can just do something else interesting, I suppose. But that's probably what I would go for with the Necromancer set. You could always do like a actual Nova set, like a Death Nova set or something like that. They probably need more abilities. There's only 3 spenders for Necro. So they might need like new abilities to really set it off. Revive set might be the only option right now. I mean, I guess you could do like a Golem set, right? Like a full tilt Golem set. There's some cool abilities there. We have complementing legendaries with the Golem Pants. And the commander passive that lowers the golem cooldown. And that might be interesting gameplay as well. For Witch Doctor, man, you gotta give us the Zombie Bear set, man. Like a Zombie Bear maybe increases the AoE on Zombie Bears. And they like lower the target, like they lower the movement speed of all targets, even jugs or something. Like they just poison everybody so nobody can run away. Even ranged mobs, maybe it immobilizes like enemies, even jugs, you know. That'd be kind of cool to set the set apart and to make it just like this plague type of bear set. Another popular suggestion was the Acid Cloud set. There's like a Lob Bob rune with Acid Cloud, and that'd be cool. Acid Cloud's visually fun to play. I do use it in my Zuni build sometime instead of Haunt, and I like it. And I think maybe having some interesting mechanic with the pets or the blobs might make it more intriguing, and I'd be excited to see what they do with that. And finally, for Wizards, we talked about what I wanted to was a Hydra set, a Wizard Hydra pet build, since we don't have pet builds for Wizards. Wizards have actually a ton of abilities, and you can do a lot of different versions of the sets. But I'd kind of want to bring back Serpent Sparker, buff Serpent Sparker, and maybe have the Hydra as like a ranged Hydra build. You can use Mantled, or you can just make all the runes competitive. That way we can kind of pivot to whatever we need. I think that'd be really interesting. A buff to Mantled would be good too. That way you can play like Lightning Archon at a higher level and do speeds and things like that. And Archon would work with Electrocute also. So I guess you could do an Electrocute set since there's complementing legendaries also. And it's kind of like, your Thor, I guess you're standing there just electrocuting everything, or Raiden, I don't know, some kind of thunder god. That'd be cool. One of the good suggestions, we got from chat was a mirror image set. Some kind of funky mirror image Wave of Light set, or Wave of Force set would be dope. Mirror image is like an old school wizard, right? That's like wizardry, right? Like you have a mirror image ability, so I think that would be dope too, like some kind of interesting set that maybe you wouldn't think of. And one thing I think Wizard needs is a better speed build, but Veers is pretty badass, so maybe not. I always think that we need to move faster because of the teleport. There's like a delay with teleport, so you can't really keep up with a lot of other classes, or I guess the top dogs anyway. Like the Monk dash is so instant, and then the Wizard teleport has like an animation, so it kind of slows us down a little bit. A faster moving set would be good, but either way, it is what it is, right? It works. Wizards already does a lot of things, so they don't have to be the king of everything, I guess. Our crew is hard at work, crafting additional themed seasons, a new set for each class, and the next line that hit me. So they hit you with like 3 uppercuts here. Boom, boom, boom. And the third boom is dozens of legendary powers. Dozens, man. Dozens is plural, right? So that means 24 is 2 dozen. So at least 24 legendary powers. I think if anything is evident or whatever, we had the Echoing Fury this patch. We had the Squirt's Necklace. So it just shows that they're probably going to add legendary powers to existing legendaries. And it's basically like creating new legendaries. And that's super duper exciting, man. We're just thinking about everything that we just talked about could be tied to a legendary power. Like you can just buff the Hydra weapon. You could just buff like anything, right? And it kind of changes the whole landscape of the classes. And some balance changes. Okay, so we're getting dozens of legendary powers and some class balance changes, which means Singularity might get nerfed finally. I don't know. I'm just saying, maybe. So let's actually talk about dozens of legendary powers. What would be nice to add that we don't have, that we didn't also talk about? So yeah, how about you buff Mortix Brace? Maybe that's one reason why they didn't buff Barb this patch, because they have dozens of legendary powers in the works, right? So they kind of know like what they're doing. So they didn't want to maybe destroy the balance of the game in the future, because they know all these sets are coming. So that's probably one reason why they kind of maybe held back a little bit. Class balance changes could also be to Wizard, nerfing their AoE clear and bring them more in line with Witch Doctor. So that'd be something to worry about for the Wizards out there. Maybe make Monks healing not so strong, or I don't know what their plans are, but maybe like nerfing the top of the leaderboard to bring it down with the B tier and make everybody kind of balanced. Quality of life and the occasional gameplay system updates are within scope. So we're going to get some quality of life, QOL, and some occasional gameplay system updates. I would imagine quality of life features would be like finally pets auto picking up DBs, or some kind of option to do that, maybe tied to Paragon. I have no idea. So a lot of people asked for that for a long time, and they've given us a lot of the things that we've been asking for, like a stash search function, the red primal beam. It's not guaranteed that we'll get it, but it's definitely one of the things that people make noise about. I personally don't care about the auto pickup, but it would be nice to have, I guess. Another quality of life feature would be to make vaults close actually in 30 seconds instead of 1 minute, because rifts close in 30 seconds. So it's weird that vaults are smaller and they close in a minute. So if you change that to 30 seconds, it'd be better for us to run vaults actually. And being able to close a cow level, or being able to manually close any level, like a vault, a cow level, a rift, a greater rift. Just like, you walk in, you get Shrouded Moors, maybe, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, maybe that would cause flipping issues on torments or something, But it just like it's super obnoxious sometimes to get a lot of these rifts or like a cow level. Like you want to keep running cow levels and you can't. And then it makes us not even use it. And then we just ignore the content. Like I probably have run minimal cow levels just because you have to relog, you know? And I have like a SSD and all that stuff. It doesn't take that long to relog, but it's just cumbersome, I guess. One thing I was thinking about was we got new sets coming, right? We got quality of life changes coming and we got BlizzCon coming. So are we going to be able to play this at BlizzCon? Is there going to be like a demo on the new sets? That would be super dope. I'd love to play that and report back to you guys. Also, is there going to be a panel on D3 in 2019? So I'm like, wait a minute. We get new transmogs and we get all this other stuff. But wait, are we getting a new panel? Are we getting a new freaking demo to play at BlizzCon? So BlizzCon's in November and they've just posted this a few months before November, right? So that's interesting to see. I would love to watch a panel on that. And we could get like a Diablo 4 announcement potentially and get a whole Diablo 3 panel. That'd be so interesting, man. This might be my favorite BlizzCon ever, chat. So that just about covers the blog post. They did say like they're going to continue to support the game and all the stuff. And they did confirm the 1 week PTR. So if you hate the 1 week PTR like I do, it's here to stay. We just got to live with it and move on. So yeah, going forward, it looks like we're having a 1 week PTR. So I'll be cranking out videos next time really fast because I can't wait around anymore. It's just the way it goes. So I got to get with the times and the times are moving fast. All right, let's move into some community questions or some feedback for a little bit. One of the most popular questions is, yo, Bludd, yo, Bludd, what's the fastest start to the season? And we kind of talked about that in our starter videos, but you'd have to watch each individual video, I guess, to get the information. So in my opinion, okay, opinion-based podcast and YouTube channel, right? Barb is the fastest to 70 because of the Ray Core. Gives you infinite mobility essentially and damage right away with your 4-piece. As soon as you get your 4-piece, you're good to go the rest of the season. You can get your multipliers at level 1. You can get your survivability at level 1 with the Band of Might. Barb is super crazy out the gate. If you're talking like, let's say to 100 though, or 90 or 100, then that's when Necromancer starts pulling ahead. Monk starts pulling ahead because the Inniset is all encompassing. It kind of buffs everything. So you can play like LTK, Tempest Rush, or Wave of Light to like level 90. And the Inniset gives you a lot of damage. And you can get your big damage increase with the Crutus Boots at level 1 also. So you can see there's a correlation there. Necros have guaranteed upgrades on their weapons. So all the classes are good, right? This should not really affect what your decision is. But right out the gate, Barb, and then I guess Monk would be really powerful, and Necro gets the Pestilence set. Once you get all your cooldown, they'd be like one of the fastest to 90 potentially. Special consideration for Crusader because the Akon set is an all-encompassing set, but you do need your cooldown and you need a multiplier. And there's really nothing you can get at level 1 besides like the sweep weapon, the sweep shield with denial, or like the Johanna weapon. So you'd have to really get like the Condemned Sword or something bigger like that. The Frighter's Wrath shield and all that stuff. But I mean, honestly, it depends on RNG. One person could get lucky. One DH could get all the Yang stuff and the Yui stuff and the Captain pattern within the first hour. It's mathematically possible. And then you have Yui just crushing it, right? So it just depends on RNG. But if it was a competition, I would go with those classes we talked about. A lot of people say, yo, Bludd, what takes advantage of the new Triune rings, and do other classes take advantage of the rings on the ground, like the seasonal buff, more than others? And it's not fair. Sometimes they say like it's not fair and all this stuff. But honestly, we've had the Oculus ring in the game for so long. I honestly don't get the feedback from that. Like I don't understand it because we've had the Oculus ring, which is an 85% multiplicative damage bonus. And no one ever complains that my class isn't mobile. I can't jump in it. I played Rapid Fire this season, and I didn't complain once that I couldn't utilize the Oculus rings. But with the seasonal theme coming up, I guess maybe it's different. I don't know. But yeah, it's literally just an Oculus ring themed season. If anything, there'll be more rings going around with your Oculus and your Triune buff that you'll probably just be in a ring on, and just by standing around, right? There's a good chance that you'll get in one of the two rings. Like when you're in a group setting, you get multiple rings. So we'll see how it goes. I think it's totally fine. I don't think it's that big of a deal. So hopefully you guys can get it in your rings and be happy. Get in your safe place. This ring is my safe place. Nobody enter it, okay? I think it's totally fine and you guys will be good to go. A lot of questions I get is, Yo Bludd, has the meta changed? And the meta has not changed as far as we know. Another thing people ask me is, Yo Bludd, has the meta changed? And no, unfortunately, the meta has not changed as far as we know right now. So the meta is still going to be rat runs, aka legacy of dreams, I guess, dream gem, singularity. So 2 singularity, Lon, Lod, DPS, right? And then you have Barb. That's going to be the fastest Paragon. But since they're losing the Legacy of Nightmares bonus from season 17, it's definitely going to be closer. The Veers set's going to be closer. Veers can speed farm really fast. That's how I farmed like all my Paragon last season. I've actually never done 1 rat run on stream, besides like 2-man testing on the beta. So we were able to keep up relatively fast. I mean, we were far behind, but we did like, let's say like the top players in the game were 2K. I was like 1500, right? So I was definitely behind, but it wasn't like so life altering where I couldn't compete or anything like that. So Wizard's pretty good as well. Another thing to note is, don't do the challenge rift, guys, okay? If you're listening to my voice and you're thinking about doing the challenge rift, do not complete it. I have a guide in the description of my YouTube video, or you can jump in my Twitch chat and type !CR guide, 1 word. So we did this on stream yesterday and we crushed it. We did we were like a minute farther than everybody else when we originally did it. And so I did like a mini guide on Twitch. I don't want to post it on YouTube. I don't just do those videos, but it's there if you want it. It's pretty hard at first on the North American Challenge Rift. It's pretty hard if you don't know what to do because you can die really easily and you don't know where the shield pylon is and all that stuff. So definitely watch the video if you don't want to struggle with it, or if you've never played Natalia's. It's a Demon Hunter Natalia set. The European Challenge Rift is really easy, so don't need a guide for that. Just go crush it, get your materials, and get your season start right. Should be no problem for you guys. I actually completed on my alt account, by the way. So I have 2 accounts, and so don't do it. Don't complete this, actually. I did it on my alt account so I can test it, and we can complete it and min-max it, and that way I can, showcase it for you guys. All right, people are asking me, what's my Season 18 plans? So if you haven't heard, my Season 18 plans is I'm going to play solo self-found hardcore, or just a solo hardcore where all my progression is mine and I'm competing on the leaderboards. Just no grouping whatsoever, no bounties, just like I do with my YouTube Let's Play. But this time I'm going to do it on full time for the season. I will have a YouTube Let's Play as well. I might make a softcore Let's Play though. That might be dope to do a softcore version of the Let's Play, since I always do a hardcore version of the LP. And it'll be like a limited time Let's Play. So limited time Let's Play, maybe like 5 hours a week tops on YouTube. And then 6 days a week streaming Diablo on Twitch. When I will be no-lifing it for the weekend, we're going to do a 24-hour stream Friday night. So join us. It's always fun, man. I love doing the 24-hour stream. It's going to be hype, dude. I'll probably go live at around, let's say, 3:30 to 4. The season drops at 5 p.m. my time. So like an hour and a half before the North American season. I like to go in a little bit early and get the hype train chugga, getting along there. 24 hours there. That'll take us to Saturday night, I guess, 24 hours. And then Sunday, I'll probably play like 10 hours, hang out with you guys. And I usually feel good on Sundays because I sleep well Saturday night. So 24-hour stream, long Sunday stream. And then Monday, I'll be playing until WoW launches. So Monday, I'm going to be playing all day until World of Warcraft launches. It launches at like midday for me, like 3 p.m. So it's pretty late in the day at least. And then I'll switch over to WoW. I might do a 24-hour stream for WoW. So I'm going to be cracked out, man. The second 24-hour might crack me. And then that'll take us to Tuesday. I'll probably still be live. And then Wednesday, I'll be on my normal schedule, which is probably 6 or 7 hours of Diablo a day. And then 3 or 4 hours of World of Warcraft. I really want to play Classic and I really want to play Season 18. So I'm going to do my best to try to balance both. I will fall behind in WoW. In Diablo, it doesn't matter so much because I can just play it by myself anyway. And it's kind of like a longer term progression. And I guess I'm not falling behind in WoW, but I will fall behind the leveling curve. So I might start encountering more and more world PvP as my game time dwindles, but it just might make more fun moments on stream, I guess. Hope you guys enjoyed the podcast today. I was talking a little bit fast. I have been in YouTube mode. We've been, I probably made 9 YouTube videos in 9 days, or even more than that, because I've been trying to crank out these videos. We only got a 1-week warning before the season starts again. So, I mean, it happened twice now, so I'm just going to assume that the season's going to start within when the season ends, right? Like within like a week. So now I know I'm just going forward. I'm just going to get the videos out quicker because it does put a lot of pressure. So hopefully I wasn't talking too fast. I am in YouTube mode, right? If you want to support the podcast, you can always leave a like or comment and leave some feedback on Apple or Spotify, or wherever it lets you rate the podcast, I guess. You can support on Patreon. You can support on Twitch. You can follow, like, comment, subscribe. All that stuff adds up, and it really does help the podcast and the stream. I have sponsors that are from Twitch, like GG Supplements. You can check out the website, or Cyberpower PC. You can check it out in the description. Yeah, they're mostly on Twitch, but I have them in the description of the videos. Don't forget, we have the Challenge Rift tutorial in the description, so you can crush your Challenge Rift. And my build page is updated for the most part. I did a lot of work last night on the build page, so I kind of organized it all. Patreon.com/Bluddshed. It's all free for everybody. It's just I use it like a website, right? I don't want to get my own website. So I use it like a website. You can go there and look at the builds, and it's all organized a little bit better than before. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for listening. I appreciate all the support. This is Bluddshed, and I'm out of here. Peace.